Joseph opens the granaries, hope in times of scarcity, a word from Spurgeon have. You ever considered that the provision you most desperately need might be hidden behind the very door you are most afraid to open? If I told you that what appears to be your greatest scarcity today is, in fact, divine preparation for an abundance you are not yet capable of bearing? Yes, Joseph was imprisoned, humiliated, forgotten. But at the peak of the famine, the entire world had to turn to him. Why? Because he was the only one with the key to the granaries. And that, my brother, my sister, changes everything. Throughout the land, no one could open a granary except Joseph. That was the king's command. And that is also heaven's command. When the people began to feel the pangs of hunger, they went to Pharaoh seeking a dand. The answer was simple, direct, and absolute. Go to Joseph. What he says to you, do. The same holds true for Christ. No other has the authority to open the granaries of the soul. No other possesses a legitimate power to feed the human spirit with the bread that truly satisfies. You might pursue philosophies, gurus, modern practices, self-help books, gratitude journaling, transcendental meditation. But none of these things hold real authority. They are like shadows attempting to soothe a raw, exposed body. It was precisely this way for me. I speak, not idly. During my youth, I was tormented by an existential void. I attempted to fill it with knowledge, with effort, with morality, even with cold religion. But everything seemed to slip through my fingers like sand, till one snowy night, almost by chance or rather, by Providence I walked into a small Methodist chapel. A simple man was preaching. He looked at me, a stranger at the back of the hall, and declared, "Look to Christ." He did not instruct me to offer lengthy prayers, nor to ascend steps of merit. Just this, look to Christ. I did. And in that instant, the granaries opened. How many individuals today find themselves exactly where I once was? Anguished, lost, trying to control their own lives through sheer willpower, with inner strategies, with emotional coaching. And the harder they strive, the more they realize that the hunger persists. Have you ever felt this way? As if nothing is ever enough? As if something is perpetually missing, even when, on the surface, everything seems to be going well? It is because you are attempting to open the wrong granary, or worse, trying to open a granary not meant for you.
Amen.
There is only one name that possesses the authority to give you true bread. Jesus Christ. He not only has access to the granaries, he is the granary itself. He is the bread of life. And everything the Father desires to give you is in him, as Scripture states. Father loves the Son and has given everything into his hands. John 3, verse 35. Everything. Not a single blessing remains outside of Christ's hands. Salvation, peace, forgiveness, the meaning of existence, direction for life, victory over sin, liberation from guilt, hope in the face of death is all in him. Now reflect with me, why do so many resist this? Why do so many run from Christ? When it is he who holds the keys, is it the fear of surrender? Is it the false impression that they will lose something important? Is it a feeling of unworthiness, as if you need to be better to approach him? But tell me something, do you know anyone who goes to the hospital only once they are already cured? No, right? So why do we insist on thinking that we must be well to seek Jesus? He is precisely for the hungry, for the broken, for those who have nowhere else to turn. Recent studies from the Gallup Institute have indicated that, globally, more than 1 in every 3 people report high levels of emotional distress. But what strikes me most is that among those with an active faith, the rates of resilience and well-being are significantly higher. Do you know what this tells me? That when you know where to run, even the storm tastes different, because those who are close to the owner of the granaries do not fear the winter. Note this precious detail. Pharaoh did not tell the people to fend for themselves. He did not say, plant, store, try to make do. He said, go to Joseph. With that phrase, he acknowledged that all authority to save from famine was concentrated in one person. In the same way, God tells us today, go to Jesus. Consider this with me. Have you tried every door? Have you spent everything you had? In everything you did not have on therapies, advice, courses, distractions, and yet you still feel hungry? Then why not go to the only one who can open the granaries? Make no mistake, Christ's authority
Comece o
is
dia
not
com esta
symbolic.
oração
It is
e
real.
derrote
He does
o inimigo. Sabe
not offer
o que é
abstract comfort. He offers bread, real bread, for today, for your soul. And he does not demand that you deserve it, only that you come. Right now, as you listen to these words, perhaps you are wrestling with an old fear, with choked back regret, with a sense of failure you do not have the courage to confess, even to yourself. I know what that is like. But I also know this. The King has already pointed the way. The way is not a method, not a theory, not a system. It is a person. Are you hungry? Then go to Joseph. Go even further. Go to Jesus. He not only has the granary, he is the bread. And he is waiting for you. He planned the granaries. From the very beginning, every detail was conceived with wisdom. Joseph was not placed in that position by chance. He was shaped, sharpened, prepared by God for that exact moment when the world would plunge into scarcity. The same is true for Christ. He did not emerge as an improvised solution to humanity's problems. He was appointed before the foundation of the world. He is the Lamb who was slain even before there was hunger. And it is here that many stumble, because they look at the crisis, at the loss, at the pain, and ask, where is God? But if instead we were to ask, what has God already prepared for me, even before this crisis began? Perhaps the answer would surprise us. Joseph had already filled the granaries long before the people felt hungry. They were ready. The provision existed, even if natural eyes could not see it. Have you ever felt this way? As if you were in a desert where everything seems parched, but at the same time there is a suspicion, almost like a stubborn hope within you, that perhaps, just perhaps, God has already prepared an escape. The truth is that most people are waiting for the granary to open suddenly, like magic, unaware that the time of preparation is as sacred as the time of harvest. Joseph was the right man in the right place at the right time, but this was only possible because he spent years being the invisible man in the wrong place, seemingly at the wrong time, sold by his brothers, forgotten in prison, unjustly accused by Potiphar's wife. All of this was part of the plan. How many times have you felt that your pain made no sense, that the phases of your life were a waste? Have you paused to consider that perhaps your suffering is connecting you to something greater, to a purpose that has not yet fully revealed itself? I recall a specific period in my ministry when I was overcome with doubts. The pressure was overwhelming, the criticisms constant. Outwardly, I preached with fervor, but inwardly, I struggled with a perpetual sense of inadequacy. I prayed, but it seemed my words hit the ceiling. It was then that God led me to reflect on Joseph. I realized he was not only used in a time of crisis, he was trained by the crisis, just as I was being trained. That changed the way I viewed my pain. Christ is described in the scriptures as the faithful steward, one who manages the treasures of heaven with perfection. He knows exactly how much you need, when you need it, and through what paths you must pass to be capable of receiving. Because yes, there is such a thing, being capable of receiving. There are blessings that if they came at the wrong time, would destroy us instead of blessing us. Want a current example? Think of people who became millionaires overnight. Many of them lost everything in a few years. Why? Because they were not prepared to sustain what they received. They had the granary, but they lacked the structure. Jesus does not do that to us. He prepares you before opening the door. And sometimes, what you call a delay is simply grace in the form of a process. Look, the biblical text says that Joseph stored grain like the sand of the sea, until they stopped counting. Genesis 41 verse 49. This is no small thing. It is extreme abundance. But this abundance was not for ostentation. It was for distribution. It was for salvation. The granary was built with purpose. Have you ever wondered if what you are accumulating knowledge, experience, maturity, even pains might be gathered to feed someone else down the road? Have you ever considered that the hunger that now fills you with despair will be answered by the silent preparation of yesterday? That is why Joseph was the only one fit to open the granaries. He planned, he suffered, he resisted, he learned. He knew what to do when the time came. And that is why Jesus is the only one capable of opening what you need now. He knows your structure, your history, your soul. He knows where it hurts. He knows how much you can bear. He knows when to say not yet, and he knows when to say now. If I could challenge you to something, it would be this. For the next 7 days, instead of complaining about the wait or doubting the process, pray saying, Lord, prepare me for what you have already prepared for me. The granary already exists, and Christ is already at the door. The question is not whether you will receive well, I'll send out or one. I'll send all out what's about what. The question is, will you be ready when he opens? In the meantime, do not despise the silence. Do not undervalue the backstage. Because the greatest granaries of faith are built far from applause. They are erected in solitude and pain, in anonymity. But on the right day, they save the entire world. Joseph not only planned the granaries, he also opened them. More than that, he opened them at the right time, neither before nor after. Because grace out of season is not a blessing, it is waste, or worse, it is a burden. See, when the famine spread throughout all of Egypt, Joseph did not panic. He was not caught by surprise. He knew. That moment had been foreseen, prepared, anticipated. And when the right time came, he acted. The text is clear. Joseph opened all the granaries. Genesis 41, verse 56. This is one of the most difficult truths to accept in the walk with God. We want it now. We want it yesterday. But God isn't here. I refer to the one who called me, who saved me, and who sustains me to this day. God operates at the exact time. And this can be both painful and liberating. Have you ever asked for something with such intensity, with such faith that it seemed unfair not to receive? Have you ever thought, if God loves me, why is he delaying? I have, many times. During one of the most vulnerable moments of my ministry, I faced an emotional collapse. The pressure was crushing me. There were nights when I trembled before stepping up to the pulpit. I prayed for relief. But heaven seemed like bronze. And do you know what kept me standing? The conviction that the granary would be opened at the right time, not in my time. In his. Do you know what is most impressive about all of this? Joseph kept the granaries open for as long as the famine lasted. This moves me deeply, because that is the nature of grace. It is not a window that opens and closes quickly to see who can rush through. No, God's grace remains available as long as there is sincere need. But therein lies the point. Grace needs to find hunger. Joseph did not open the granaries out of vanity. He opened them because the people were hungry, and God is like that. He does not pour his presence into hearts satisfied with the world. He pours into those who thirst. He reveals himself to those who seek him with an empty soul stomach. Think now, are you truly hungry? Or are you just uncomfortable? There is a great difference. The hungry move. The hungry drop everything. The hungry are not content with crumbs. This is what Jesus meant when he said, "Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they shall be satisfied." On the other hand, there is a subtle danger here, that of ignoring the time of hunger, thinking it will last forever. Some say, "One day I will return to God. When I am ready, I will surrender." But there is not always time. Not every hunger is eternal. And there are moments when spiritual neglect is like a door that closes softly. But when we realize it, we can no longer enter. Have you ever seen someone who waited too long to seek help? A person who sank into depression, into addiction, into sin, and when they finally tried to escape, they were already without strength. It is hard to say this, but there is a point of emotional and spiritual exhaustion from which, without Christ, there is no return. Think of Amy Winehouse, a woman with extraordinary talent. She had everything in the world's eyes: fame, money, recognition, but she had no peace. And she herself acknowledged this. She once said, "I am not happy. I never have been." How many times was she advised, invited, warned, but she refused. She refused until time ran out. Hunger won because she did not go to the granary. She did not want to feed on what truly mattered. But you still can. Christ has the granaries open now. This needs to be said with seriousness. It's not as a gentle invitation, but as an urgent warning. The time of hunger has come. The world is in crisis. Souls are in crisis. And He is ready to satisfy. Do you want to wait longer? Until when? Today is still the acceptable time. Today is still the day of salvation. And Christ is not measuring how much you deserve. He is observing how much you need. I ask you, with sincerity, how long will you ignore this hunger? You feel it in the silence of the night. When your phone is far away, when the laughter ends, when you lie down, deep down, you know something is missing. There is something that neither human love, nor professional achievement, nor cold religion can fill. This emptiness has a form, and that form has a name, Jesus, and He is here. It's not to judge you, but to feed you. He has the bread, has the wine. He has the granaries. He has already opened them. The only question that remains is, will you come and seek? They came from afar. Men from all lands, of all languages, carrying on their shoulders the weight of scarcity, anguish, in their eyes, and hope hanging by a thread. They came to Joseph, and Joseph received them. He opened the granaries to all who came. There is not a single record. Listen to this carefully. There is not a single record of anyone being sent away empty-handed. Not one. This image is too powerful to ignore, because it reveals something profound about the heart of God. He does not reject those who come to Him hungry. Christ does not close the door in the face of anyone who knocks with sincerity. Jesus Himself said, "The one who comes to me I will never cast out." And yet how many still fear to approach? How many hesitate because they believe they are not worthy, that they are beyond repair, that God has grown tired of them? Have you ever thought this way? Have you looked in the mirror and said, "I am not like those serious Christians. I make too many mistakes. God cannot want someone like me"? But what if I told you that is precisely why He wants you? Because you know you need Him, because you feel the hunger that others hide. Joseph received everyone, even foreigners, even peoples who worshipped other gods, because hunger is a universal language, and the same is true for Christ. You do not need to be from the right crowd, nor have the right past. It does not matter if you grew up in the church, or if you have never opened a Bible. It does not matter if you sinned yesterday. If you are hungry and you come, you will be received. This reminds me of a story I heard during a missionary trip. A woman, a former prostitute, a former addict, full of physical and emotional scars, approached me after a sermon. She was trembling. She told me, "I feel that God has called me, but I cannot imagine myself entering a church. They look at me as if I am trash." I looked directly into her eyes and said, "Jesus is not a church. He is the door, and He is not locked. He is wide open for you." She wept, but she wept like one who had been embraced. So there, standing in the middle of the street, she surrendered her life to Christ. There was no liturgy. There was no protocol. Only hunger and bread. Many people believe there is no more room in the granary. They think they have arrived too late. But William Bridge said something I always quote: "If 20 men drink from a bottle, the rest fear there will not be enough for them. But if 100 men drink from a river, no one fears, because there's enough for everyone." Christ is that river. No, He does not run dry. Grace does not ration. Mercy does not collapse. There is no competition in the kingdom of God. What he has for me takes nothing from what he has for you. Have you ever felt spiritual envy? Have you looked at someone who seems to have more faith, more intimacy with God, and thought, that is not for me? Well, I am here to tell you, it is. The same granary is open for everyone, and if you have not entered yet, it's only because you have not gone. Today, thousands of people are getting lost within themselves. There is a silent epidemic of loneliness, anxiety, and lost meaning. People connected to the entire world, but disconnected from themselves and from God. But the bread is here. The bread that satisfies, that heals, that gives purpose. You need to free yourself from this idea that you are the only one who feels this hunger. You are not. Most people live masking their scarcity, pretending fullness while crying alone. But Christ has already seen your heart, and he does not expect perfection. He only expects sincerity. If you still doubt, I want to challenge you. Today, even today, speak with Jesus as you would speak with someone real, because he is real. Speak your way, with your words, with your fears. Speak even without faith, but speak. Say, Lord, I want this bread. I am hungry. And see if he does not answer you. See if he does not fill you. See if you do not emerge from that prayer changed. Granaries are open. You do not need to beg. You do not need to pay. You just need to come, and come with hunger. And never forget the central point of everything we have discussed is simple and powerful. There is only one who possesses the key to the eternal granaries, and that one is Jesus. When you go to him, you reach the only one who can truly satisfy the hunger of your soul. And while you are reflecting on this, right next to it is the next video, ready to help you climb another step in your wisdom evolution and become 1% better than you are now. Click and come with me. Myself will be there to continue this journey together. And thank you for being here with me, and I will see you in the next video.